Hopefully, at some point, we can all admit that not everything or everyone has to be perfect to be just fine. I say this as the main goal of advertisers seems to be to convince us to improve our imperfect selves. I'm constantly amazed at the products that appear on my screen every day with solutions to problems that I didn't even realize I had. From ointments to remove skin tags, to others to add freckles, insoles to make you stand straight, and others to add inches, products to remove hair, and products to make hair grow. And crustless bread? Is that going to be the best thing since? And then there are the self-improvement courses to promote your self-esteem. 3 weeks to learn enough French to get you from the airport to your hotel, or how to become a yoga instructor in just the next few weeks. And what about the apps for your phone? Identify birds or plants with the touch of a finger. Balance your spending and ensure savings. Now that's one we could all use. Or gamble away your paycheck with a mere click or two. At different times in my life, I've worried more or less about my attire. My parents couldn't buy me the white buck shoes and outfits. Most of all, crinolines to wear under poodle skirts. And everyone else had parents who did. Growing up in Forest Hill, where so many of my schoolmates had family in the rag trade, as the fashion industry was called, meant that I did feel odd girl out. In retrospect, that probably provided me with a bit of a protective shell that decided other things are more important than the latest high fashion. Understandably, I was never aware of the importance of the label that is apparently so important now. Just last week, I was listening to a mother concerned that her daughter would soon be unwilling to wear anything without a label from Zara or H&M or Urban Planet, whether the family could afford it or not. And what about her responsibility to see that the child felt included and loved? Well, since when is love measured by the label on the back of a t-shirt or a pair of jeans? And please tell me, what is the fascination with jeans that are full of holes when you buy them? That's even weirder than my quest for crinolines. At least I could work on the weekends and pay for the things I wanted, starting with a Monopoly game and working on up to a bright rose crinoline. But today, children can't work other than a bit of babysitting or lawn mowing for a neighbor or in the family business until they're 16 or 18 or so. And even then, there are restrictions on what they can do. So parents are left to foot the bill, and children deprived of learning how hard it is to make and how easy to spend money. To make the connection between their labors, savings, and acquiring. Personally, I've been a great fan of secondhand stores, charity shops, and auctions ever since my first apartment, and every home thereafter. Beautiful antiques, unique items, and the delight of the deal. Fabulous! Today, selections from IKEA that anticipate being replaced seems to be the way to go, and no one wants the lovely crystal or silver you inherited or found at McTamney's one lucky day. One of the highlights of a trip to Scotland is an excursion to the charity shops of North Berwick. Most of the unique jackets I own come from those shops, and I doubt that I ever paid more than $25 Canadian for one. For me, it's like a treasure hunt, so much more fun than going to a mall or exclusive boutique and being inculcated as to what is in. And what dreams can the young dream anymore? Never having been inculcated in physical work, whether on a construction site, planting trees up north, washing dishes, or cleaning up a shop, entrepreneurship, daring to chase dreams. The occupations flowing from such backgrounds are not even a consideration. University is the only objective, and graduates see government jobs and holidays and pensions, not the sweat and worry of starting one's own business, or creating and inventing and starting something new. Nurses are retiring with no replacements in sight, and so we raid other nations to fill our failings. Our military is way under the numbers needed, and we fail to meet our international commitments. We have to import skilled workers to build our homes, which increases the demand for housing, a never-ending cycle that only grows day by day. And then I listen to all my concerns, or is it complaints, and start thinking, what an old fuddy-duddy I've become. I admit that many things are better now than when I was young. I love having a dryer rather than hanging out clothes that smell nice, but were a target for birds and were never as soft. I love fabrics that do not need to be ironed. I love air conditioners on hot summer days and heating that doesn't require coal trucks delivering to your home with all the shoveling to keep warm. The variety of foods available in Toronto today is incredible. Virtually the homesick palate of any nation can find satisfaction in one of the city's restaurants. Food so hot they burn your mouth. Food so creamy they slide down your throat. The fruits and vegetables of the world at your local supermarket. Satisfaction or indigestion, the choice is yours. With the years, my palate has changed. I tried octopus for the first time last week. Delicious. By comparison, I remember the first time my parents took me to a Chinese restaurant, and I burst into tears at the sight of the lobsters in a tank. We left, mortified. Imagine salmon sushi pizza, my favorite self-indulgence. Salmon from our Pacific coast, sushi from Japan, and pizza from Italy, all combined for a uniquely Canadian dish. And what about the medical advances? None of my children had scarlet fever, whereas when I had it, people feared for my life. The endless pictures I remember of iron lungs keeping polio victims alive, serving as a warning to the rest of us to avoid swimming pools and beaches where the dread disease would spread. No longer a death knell, the scourge of cancer is being beaten day by day by researchers, scalpels, chemo, and radiation. I have loved driving since passing the driving test and getting my license the day after I turned 16, and happy I did not have to wait endless months to drive on my own. I admit I miss the unique designs of the cars of the 1950s and 60s, but I also delight in the notion of cars that can drive and park themselves. Delights of the past and the promise for such a wonderful world, if only we could get along together, whether nations or neighbors. A good starting point is taking ourselves and our own opinions less seriously and opening our hearts and minds to others with ideas to share. So, looking to the Almighty for help with that challenge, I offer this prayer. May God give us light to guide us, courage to support us, and love to unite us as we decide the path we will follow in all the days that lie ahead. So may it be. Amen.